Hello, fellow mompreneurs. Welcome to the Real Moms Podcast, the go-to space for resilient entrepreneurs who are striving for abundant living. I'm your host, Shae Spitz, a mompreneur and a realtor here in Columbus, Nebraska. Are you a mom juggling the hustle of entrepreneurship, family life, and personal growth? Well, you're in the right place. On this podcast, we dive deep into the real, unfiltered stories of incredible women who are navigating the journey of mompreneurship. We'll celebrate the victories, share practical insights, and acknowledge that it's okay to face challenges along the way. Success isn't about the destination. It's about the journey and the growth we experience as we balance our careers and the chaos of family life. Whether you're a seasoned mompreneur or just starting on this exciting path, join me and our amazing guests as we explore what it truly means to be a resilient entrepreneur striving for abundant living. Get ready for real, raw, and remarkable conversations that will inspire and uplift you. Because here at the Real Moms Podcast, we believe in the power of community, authenticity, and the strength that comes from embracing the journey together. So grab your coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's dive into the world of mompreneurship. This is the Real Moms Podcast, where we celebrate the hustle, honor the struggle, and thrive as resilient entrepreneurs living abundantly. Welcome to Real Moms, where resilient entrepreneurs create abundant lives for themselves and their families. Before we jump into today's conversation, I'd love your support. If you are inspired by what you hear today, hit subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with another mom who's building her business and her dreams. Your reviews and shares help us spread the message that moms can truly have both success in business and abundance at home. So let's dive in. I like to ask each guest what their favorite quotes are, and today's quote is, "If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough," and that is by Muhammad Ali. Today, I have Amy Stockberger. She is the founder of Amy Stockberger Real Estate and creator of the Lifetime Home Support model, leads South Dakota's top producing teams. Her philosophy, serve, sell, ensures exceptional client experiences before, during, and forever. Amy's vision is to transform the real estate industry by creating a community of servepreneurs who elevate the client experience and help agents build legacy businesses with a healthy exit strategy, ample time, and financial freedom. So to learn more, we'll dive into that a little bit more. But Amy, thank you so much for being here. And I love your model and philosophy of what you have going on.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored, and I can't wait to dig in. And I love lifting up women. Entrepreneurs are my favorite. I call them servepreneurs. They're just a breed of lovable creators who are changing the world. And as a mama myself, I have a 21-year-old who works for us and an 8-year-old. So I'm a mom. And I'm raising 2 singletons. A whole bunch of big story in between all that too. But yeah, let's dive in.
So I really like how you focus on clients, serving people, serve, sell, because I've always been a firm believer that you need to reinvest your time, energy, and finances into your clients, past clients. So tell me, let's start with your journey. You've been doing this for 25 years, right? So and that can't be easy. You've been through a lot of different markets. You've had to probably do a lot of different shifts. And then there's obviously not just the real estate market shifts, but also life shifts. So tell me a little bit about your journey to better get to know you, and then we'll figure out more of what you do.
Yeah, so been in the business for 25 years, came into it straight out of college. My dad had a call banker. He had an anti-nepotism rule, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. They put me in the back of the office in a dark, dank office, paid me 24 grand and said, "Sink or swim, mama." And so I did. I had to decide what I was going to do. And I fell in love with the back end of real estate. And soon, like within 2 years, got licensed and was a buyer's agent for a hot second, was a single agent for even hotter second. And I started my team almost immediately. I brought my sister on, got her licensed and an assistant almost immediately, and started growing. And then by 2009, my husband left the banking world and came over. And then we really started to grinding and deciding that we were going to treat this as something that was going to be a legacy we could walk away from. And fast forward to 2014, we found a giant hole in our business. And at that time, I was running billboard ads to like the tune of $25,000 to $35,000 a year. And the only reason I was running those ads was to remind the people who knew and trusted me to use me again, because I knew it cost more to get a new client than to keep one for life. And I thought, dang, I'm smart. Y'all, I'm smart. That's going to work, right? Guess what? No. Authentically serve anything for my clients. because that was the deal. I'm a superpower. One of my superpowers is systems, and we had the before and during down. We were killing it. We were systemized. Clients were so happy, but we just weren't getting that repeat and referral. So I went into our industry and looked. I'm like, what could I find that I could take as a bluept? Because that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur, right? You become an entrepreneur because you don't want anybody to tell you what to do, and then you become an entrepreneur and you're like, somebody tell me what to do.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, so I was looking and I couldn't find a blueprint that was all inclusive that could help me build a referable, scalable, and ultimately sellable business. Because the lifetime value of your clients, like that should be what your profit model is, the lifetime value. This is what's going to lower your cost to acquire a client. This is what's going to help you really increase your market, your profitable market share. And so we created a model called Lifetime Home Support. And this model has helped my agents of about 20 dominate 10% of our local market share. Plus, we'll probably be at 13% by the end of this year is my goal. We're ranked number 1 in our market since we created this, and we're ranked number 33 in the nation. And we serve a really small market. We're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the 5th least populated state. So we have a good market share and a system that works to build my clients or my agents referable, scalable, and sellable businesses. And we built in basically a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process before, during, and forever. We have moving trucks, moving supplies. I don't pay for those trucks though. I sell ad space on them to my vendors to help get their deals out. So I very much believe in agents and teams and brokers taking the Amazon model and turning as many as they can, at least, cost center into a profit center. That's what you should be looking at all parts of your business. And so we did it with that. And then we added in a party and tool shed with all this equipment that clients need, not for home ownership necessarily, but their human journey. Yeah. Because I call it my H to H strategy, because it doesn't matter what your B2C strategy is or your B2B strategy. If your H to H strategy isn't elevating their human experience beyond the closing table, you're not going to be remembered. It's right. Not, and especially, Shae, I mean, the way tech and AI is moving is so quick. The one thing that tech and AI will never be able to replicate is the human-to-human connection as humans innately crave. That's how our brains were made. God made us that way. Yeah. And so the agents who are focusing on their H to H and building in these life moments in an authentic way are the ones who are going to be getting that profitable market share, becoming advisors for life. So our party shed is bouncy houses, margarita machine, tables and chairs, cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machines, anything they need for their human existence, all branded to me, because they don't have these parties by themselves. My brand is everything. Same with the tools, all the stuff they don't want to rent, buy, or store. They have it in there. They have it from a ladder to a wheelbarrow to specialty tools, commercial grade carpet cleaner, all branded to me. Yeah. The top 20 items that are checked out cost right now in today's market $4,000 to purchase. When I look at the ROI of this program, 90% of our business is repeat and referral. I replaced my billboard campaigns with this program. The ROI on this program alone is like 35,000%. It is BANANAS. And we're doing nothing but giving back to their human experience. Yeah. And we added an online discount center. And then because we're super connectors and we're professional problem solvers, I saw another problem that I wanted to solve. My clients come to me for everything they need. We're their trusted resource in all of these referrals. They want to know who to use for HVAC, electrician, who to use for the dentist. Yeah. And we created a vendor program made up of the local best companies here in town. They give our clients legendary care, preferential treatment, sometimes preferential pricing. They pay me $3,500 to be a part of the program. We have over 100 partners. So besides being profitable before we even serve a client, we also changed it into a major lead generation system. We onboard their employees because they have to allow us access to their employees. Because again, what's true, not new. Agents always want new. That's what they want. We're shiny object people. That's what but they need to be focusing what's true, not new. And what's true, not new is that everybody, no matter what stage of career you're in, you should be wanting as many people as possible, talking about your brand to as many other people as possible, as often as possible, in the best way as possible. Do that. How could I continue to do what NAR says, grow my sphere because it's my biggest lead source, but authentically serve them in a way that's giving them back something that becomes that as I'm doing it, they're realizing I'm the ultimate solution to a problem they're going to have when they have a life change because of all the service we're giving. So we find these employees, we onboard them into our program. It is a giant lead pillar for us. And we're doing it in an authentic way because we're helping our vendors be a good place to work. So attracting and retaining good talent. hard. One of the hardest
Yeah.
parts of being a business owner. It's
Yeah.
hard. And so we're serving the ultimate goal of our clients and our agents and now our community in a way that's helping everybody win and putting together a path that everybody wins is always going to be a successful path, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A win-win for everybody. So I'm really interested in all of this because I think it's amazing and it's brilliant. What is the population of your area?
I would say like just 250,000 with the
Okay.
MSA right in there.
Okay. Okay. So the area that I'm in is about 26,000 people. So a little bit smaller, but obviously anything can be done anywhere. Do you guys have like a program that you're also teaching other agents or other like companies how to do this?
Yeah, after because I have a PhD in failing forward, so I did all the stuff wrong first. So I did all the stuff wrong first, and then because then I can easily go in then and systemize it and automate it. And so after we figured out how to be profitable and how to really make a difference in people's lives, now we have an average agent tenure of about 7.5 years. And so we're making a difference in the good agents, the agents who stick in, who are in alignment with our vision. Our vision is to create big, juicy legacies for everybody in our ecosystem, our clients, our team, our community. And the agents who are in alignment with that, we help them build really good businesses, beautiful businesses.
Mhm.
My team, again, we're small giants, but they're the highest per production agents in my market because
Yeah.
they have the tools to be constantly sticky to their clients in a service centric way, which also makes their business more sellable. Because when you have a service centric repeat and referral business, it's worth up to 100% more. And
Wow.
that's one thing that our agents or that our industry has really failed on as far as
Mhm.
teaching agents how to build a business they can sell, which is another really big parts of my focus right now because it's so timely. And it also, I found another hole in my business. That's what happens. And so to answer your question, I built out all these frameworks for agents to do what I've done. I have it all at lifetimehomesupport.com. They can go grab them. DM me at Amy Stockberger, get into my DMs, and I'll share all the details. I'm on a mission to create a tribe of servepreneurs to elevate that client experience before
Mhm.
they're forever, because then it's building the agents' businesses they
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
and they can sell. Because our jobs are hard. We're working with humans, the most
Yeah.
risky creatures in the world, besides a polar bear, I'm told. They're just risky humans that we're working with, and they're in emotional situations when they're in transaction, either really
Yes.
happy or really sad. It's
Yeah.
either way, and either way, they're not acting sometimes in their best self because of
Right.
stress. That's just the way it
Mhm.
works. We work through warm referrals. Not only do they convert 8 times better than a cold referral,
Yep.
they're easier to work with and they're
Yeah.
more fun. And this job should be fun.
Yeah.
We should be
Yeah.
doing something that is fun because we're doing hard things.
Yeah. And we get so caught up and just go that we forget how to have fun or that the whole purpose of life is to have fun. And so when you can take a step back and you're like, okay, how can I make real estate fun again? How can I make this so much more less stressful, but it does get to be tough. So you package this and do you sell those programs? Because I'm always interested in how I can obviously give back to my community. I get very involved in nonprofit organizations on boards. That is very time consuming and not necessarily income producing though either. So how can I go ahead?
That is my love. This is what agents forget. Okay. Yes, I have all those packages, everything packaged up. You guys can, agents can go out and buy it step by step. I have no shiny objects. I have different courses you can do on demand on yourself, or I have individual one-on-one consulting that I can do to show you how to do this. That lives, and I'll talk about a software we created. But so you said something about nonprofits. So all of my VIP items, think about this. All my VIP items we give away to nonprofits for free to use because I want to give back. It's fun. But to do that, though, part of the checklist is that I get to communicate to them and their volunteers how we do things very differently at Amy Stockberger Real Estate. Our clients can save up to $20,000 in the first year, and the support and savings continues for life. Most agents forget to make the ask when they're in front of all these people. Who do you know that has a life change coming up? Because anybody in a life change is somebody I can be of service to. So all the
Mm-hmm.
numbers you're in, you just need to make a system, a framework on how you're standing in front of them and just making the ask. They're gladly will let you speak for 15 minutes on how you do things differently. You sign them into a form, they go into your nurture sequence. They become the path of growing your sphere in a way that's filling you up too. It's lighting you up because you're working with people who you're wanting to help, but you're also doing it in a way that you're not a nonprofit, my love. You can have your own, but your business is a business that you're running to help guide your family, right? are so, we forget about the law of reciprocity, and my whole serve sell is built on that, because when you serve before you sell, that law of reciprocity hits it hard. And they just said that when you get something from somebody, you feel compelled to give back in kind. They want to give back. Agents oftentimes forget how to ask for it, that it's not like, buy or sell a house with me. No, it's who do you know that has a life change coming up? That humans think then they're like, ooh, who's getting divorced? Who's getting married? Who's having a baby? Who's having a baby go away? Like that triggers the brain to be like, a life change. She can help somebody in a life change, because they don't know how we work anyway. They don't know off of referrals. They're thinking about themselves. They're human. And so we have like the nonprofits. So our building here, we give out our training rooms to nonprofits to use. But in order to do that, I get to go speak. I get to go speak and just talk to them really quick, hand out all my glitzy stuff, show them things very different. And like we have this rock company or this rock club. They're beautiful humans. They study rock. They're so lovely. But they just bought an $800,000 house from us. Okay. That wouldn't have been in my sphere, anybody that I would have connected with or any of my agents. But again, it was just that we made the effort like, hey, do you know how we do things differently? And I'll show you.
Yeah. And when you're giving your speeches, what is it that you're telling people that you do, how you do things differently than other agencies?
Yeah, so our whole model, system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process, before, during, and forever. So we have a program for that very first renter, getting out of that rental into home ownership with a lease buyout program, all the way up to that very last seller selling their very last house and going into their last living situation, senior living, and everything in between. I walk the VIP program. I walk them through my home support team program, which is my vendor program. I walk them through how they get access to, again, they can save up to $20,000 in the first year, and the support and saving continues for life. Depending on what season of life they're in, we have built out a framework, whether it's an instant offer program or a guaranteed sales program. We have a love it or leave it program. All these things that we built in to just nurture the security that humans want in this big transaction that likely they're only doing 2 or 3 times a year. We have the processes down and the proven system to make it easy for them and profitable. And so we're just going through that on how we can be of service.
Right. That's so impressive. I love this. And you said you have how many vendors?
100. A little over 100, yeah.
A little over 100. Okay. Okay. And it's just all different levels of servicing, not obviously specifically related to housing or real estate. It's more than that. Like you said, dentists, maybe other companies that people can use in just life circumstances.
And every agent, you have that list in your phone today. That list is in your phone. And actually, if you're a community, if you guys want to go out and follow me on Instagram and DM me vendor, I'll send you the exact blueprint we use when we onboard a vendor into our program. I recommend to all vendors or to all agents, start your vendor program. And I call it be a profitable super connector. Create walking, talking billboards. That's what you want. You want to create walking, talking billboards by authentically serving them. But you could create a 10-person vendor program like this. You have all the information right in front of you.
And I'm going to take notes.
I love it. Love it.
That is brilliant. And it's interesting because I have that, and I'm actually going to be mailing out these magazines and stuff like that. Part of the way that got paid for was utilizing my vendors, because they're just going to be paying for that magazine. Pretty small in all reality. I think it's going to give them a lot more attention. But it's interesting that you have an actual vendor program, and then you have those vendors, I'm assuming, pay to be part of your vendor program. Is that right?
Yep, they pay $3,500 a year to be a part of my program.
And do you think, are they seeing the return? Are they seeing the value? Do you know? Assuming yes, but.
Yep. Yeah, so the program itself has gotten to the point where, again, we're over 100 vendors, that I have vendors joining just for the B2B opportunities in it, who necessarily aren't in the home services or would be using our clients or our marketing for that. It's just more the B2B, because I've created a mini chamber of commerce that has an exclusivity of a BNI for me, because I'm doing brokerage in here and I'm authentically doing such to grow their business, to help them, while at the same time their revenue is paying for the program. Because again, think about it, every lead pillar that your agents pay for has a cost to acquire. The cost to acquire for this lead pillar for me is negative. My vendor revenue more than double pays to run the program, and then we get to service the clients. So like year to date, we've had close to 800,000 in GCI just from the revenue coming in just from the transactions. And that's just front end. That's just from transactions. That doesn't count the lifetime value of the repeat and referral that we get from them. And that's where the real gold is, right? The repeat and referral business you get as you keep a client in your ecosystem instead of letting them become portal leads, because you're authentically serving their wants, needs, and desires before you. It's like the book, The Go-Giver. I had read that right when I was like starting to create this program. And he says it right in there, Bob Burg. It's brilliant. Because if you authentically do serve other people's wants, needs, and desires, sales naturally follow. They just, when is the last time you served or took care of somebody and you felt like shit? Happened.
No.
And so then you're creating a better energy, more energy of gratitude around you, which makes you feel better. It makes your feel better because your agents are doing the same thing. They're making big differences. I think I just told this on a podcast recently, but I have a client who I've sold a lot of houses to, and she had a husband who was fighting cancer for really 12 months, pretty extreme, and he was in remission. And she came in and cleaned us out of all of our equipment, cleaned out all of our equipment, threw this giant party, our name all over everything, in celebrations of something so momentous for them. It was just so big. And on Monday, when she was bringing the equipment back, I met her in the parking lot. Both her and I are just crying in the parking lot. Like, it was such an awesome part to get a part of it. I'm like, our jobs are so cool that we're able to do things like that. Yeah. Another example, my vendor, I have a vendor who, landscaping vendor, was trying to get this big book of business from a commercial guy. This was actually this year too. He's sitting in the appointment, and all of a sudden the prospect gets all like distracted. He's, hey man, I gotta cut this short. I gotta throw a party tomorrow, and I need to get all this equipment. And my vendor's, ooh, I have a solution. He tells him about my business model. Comes and gets like everything we have, tables and chairs, our portable Blackstone grill, like all of this stuff, and brings it to him, sets it up. The party has 200 people at it. The head honcho CEO at this party can't get over it. Can't quit talking about my brand and his brand. Can't get over it. Calls the vendor the next day, the owner of the landscaping company, to make sure he knows what his salesperson did. They give him all the books of business. They're so excited. Now I have two owners of businesses and people who are so happy with us. What are the odds if they can run into anybody on the street out in the wild who has a life change? My brand won't be coming out of their mouth. And those pieces of equipment cost nothing. You know what I mean?
So you let people borrow that for free?
Yep, they check it out for free for life. Yep, they buy or sell it one time, they check it out for free for life.
That is so cool. So do you have somebody managing like when things are going out and when they're coming back in and being returned, and what happens if something gets damaged or broke or they don't get it returned? What does that look like?
Yeah, so because we failed forward, we built software because it was just, we wanted to automate it. So we built software for it, and I white labeled it so agents who use my system can have it all branded to them. Because think about your website. Agents spend all this money on their websites, right? Consumers go to them when they're a consumer and then when they're a client during the transaction. They don't come back. They're seeing you on social media. They're not coming back to your website. Yeah. This is a branded website that they go back to check items out. They have to sign into it, and it checks it all out there. So they check it out on their leisure. And my staff I actually just asked this question yesterday again. I'm like, because I was trying to figure out my ROI on this program for a speech I have coming up, and what is it this year? And they said the most that my front desk spends on this is probably maybe an hour a day. And that's just, summer is usually, May's our biggest because of graduations. It's our biggest. We have 800 pieces that go out in May, usually maybe closer to 9 this year. But they're spending anywhere, they know on the software what's coming back and they know what's coming in. So they always have a tracker, an inventory on it, know what's happening. We have automation set up. And one of the best parts too for our agents is that the automation is set up for them anytime a client checks out a piece of equipment, so they can make that human to human contact, that H to H connection in a time that really matters. And then we have automations that go up from them saying it's from them anyway. Hey, I'm glad you got to take the truck, or I'm glad you got to enjoy the karaoke machine, or whatever it is. Yeah. Out there that's providing them again that law of reciprocity for them to get more repeat and referral business.
Yeah. Wow.
The damaged items, again, the program itself, again, my top 20 items you can buy for under $4,000. When I first started this program, Mr. Stockberger, I took all the tools out of his garage. Sorry, man. They're snapping a label on it, a big sticker that has their name on it, and that's what's happening. But it's the stuff that, and then I'm like, I always joke to him, like, someday you'll have your own nice tools. But until then, like, this is where they are. You go get them in our garage. And we started with a 10 by 10 shed. And most agents who do run my program, like, they'll buy a storage unit or rent a storage unit, and that's where they'll do it. It's so doable for the ROI. Again, my ROI with replacing those billboards, 35,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, that's so cool. Like that's a lot. That is a lot. And you said that you started this kind of back in 2014?
The idea came to me in 14. We failed forward probably till 15, 16 on it pretty hard. And then by 17, we became the number one producer, our team in our market by almost double at that time. And we stayed there since then. And then we just keep refining it and making it better. And I think that's where agents really win too with my strategies is that I'm still in the field. I'm still in the trenches. So as I adjust and make things better, especially with AI, like we're really AI forward. The rule actually for my staff is that if they're not using AI first, they're being irresponsibly unproductive. And that just doesn't align with our core values. And so wherever we went in, we took in 60% of our workflow, we've completely automated. We have 2 digital employees that we're creating inside of Microsoft Teams right now for agent support and admin support. We have over 30 AI agent bots to help all parts from compliance to lead generation, nurture, even MLS data sheets, anything you can think of that we can make easier for our team, we've done. And we keep doing it with this. So every time with my products, anytime I make it better for my business, I make it better for them too, because we're in it again, this wrinkle in time where it's pretty delicious to be alive. But also that we know we can automate things, which is saving time, saving FTE time, saving massive amounts of. We're gonna exit out of 2 major tech stacks because of what we've automated by the end of this year because of what's in there. So we're able to take that and just run leaner, which means then we can serve higher.
Yeah.
We can serve higher and all these serve our clients, serve our team, serve our agents, serve our community at a higher level because of what we're doing with automation.
Now, you say we, who is we? And like when you're coming up with all these ideas, because AI, obviously very important, but also it's a whole nother realm for so many people and myself included. But what's getting you to thinking of these ideas and trying them and knowing what to try and what to use? How have you figured all of that out?
So our son, our oldest, who works for us, his story's kind of fun. We were broke as a joke when he was a baby, right? Like it was 2003, he's 21, and so I was just grinding. I was doing 5 to 20 open houses a weekend. This is a girls' show. Nursed him until I was 3, but do you know what that meant with me working that long? He was
Yeah.
in open houses. I was nursing him in cars. I was nursing him in houses. I was nursing him wherever it was. He would take naps in my office, like he was, and I would take him with me. Like that kid has done more open houses than most probably agents because I missed him. I want to be away from him. He used to be able to price houses by the time he was 8, and then he never wanted to get in the business. But think about this: he was a baseball kid, travel baseball, so stuck in the car with us, windshield time, just listening to my husband and I both negotiate. He's I'm not doing
Uh-huh.
comes to his senior year. He's thinking, I want to do this. Got licensed while he was in high school. Sold his first house while he was in high school. Bought his first house when he was 18. Moved across town. His first house when he was 18. He now runs our agent support, and I go to him sometimes for questions.
Yeah.
Like, hey, remind me on this, and he knows. He's trained
Right.
agents double his age because he was just stuck in it. He had no other.
Mhm.
And then we have our legend, who's 8. His life is very different. He comes down here to have fun. He doesn't know the life of grinding and having to do open houses and going to showings and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting between the two. But I remember we're talking about that. But that's his story. That I'm like, that's your life now, bud. And he might not
Yeah.
be forever. But God, he's good at it. He's so good at it. And I didn't have a choice. I wanted to be with
Yeah. Right. And that's kind of like me too. I got into the business after I had already had our 2 kids, and they're 10, 8, and 5. So they're in the thick of it too. They're probably in between your 2 where they're still coming with me and we're still grinding it out. Now they're getting to the age the 2 older ones can stay home by themselves for a couple hours. So they're not having to come with me to these open houses if I need to. But yeah, when my youngest was born, I mean, she was with me. She did go to daycare eventually, but at least the first 8 weeks, if not longer than that, because I was nursing her. So she wasn't with me the whole time because I did send her to daycare as well. But I remember getting home from the hospital on a Saturday and I was showing homes on Monday and I was nursing. I remember standing in the room in one of the bedrooms watching my clients as they were walking around outside, nursing her. And then they started coming back in. I'm like, oh, okay, let me fix this. And then they're like, yep, Shae, we want to make an offer. I'm like, great. So I have to nurse, so I can either nurse her while I write up this offer, or I'm gonna have to step away for about 15 minutes. And I'll never forget it. But the wife was like, nope, you're good. You can nurse. we don't mind. So I'm literally sitting there nursing. I had a cover on, but typing up an offer while they were both sitting there. Now, I don't think the husband was as comfortable, but since then, I have resold the house that they ended up purchasing, and they bought something else. So we kept that relationship. So it's just a fun story to
I love it.
reflect back on.
And
But
aren't you
yeah,
like, those are like the clients that you just love to attract to, okay, like I'm a human underneath this and I'm so good at what I do. That's what I tell agents too. If you had the cure for cancer, once you scream it, like from the mountaintops, that's what you need to be doing. Walking, talking billboards where you scream it, I'm so good at what I do, but I'm still a human and I still have to have some human parts of my life. And one of the human parts is my child will be with sometimes, but he can shake a hand and look you straight in the eye and say, nice to meet you.
yes, yes, absolutely. I have taken my kids to so many, and one of the moms here in town, who's a business owner, she's like, Shae, I've always admired you because I've always been part of the Columbus Chamber here in Columbus, and I was really the first one who started bringing my kids with when I needed to. It wasn't like I would bring them all the time, but I really admired the fact that it was either you brought your youngest, and she was in a car seat at the time, or you weren't coming. And I made the decision that I was going to be there with my baby. And since then, the chamber president also brings his kids around. People love kids. And I have brought my kids to so many listing appointments, buyer consultations, open houses. My kids end up go to the open houses and they'll make friends with the neighbors. I've done all those things.
Right.
But it gets to the point where they're like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like they're to the point where I don't want to come with to the open houses. At first it was exciting, oh, big pretty house. And now they're like, no thanks.
Logan used to be like the vacant. Give me, is it a vacant? Is there no furniture? Because then we could play more. But yeah,
What's that?
if there was no furniture, he'd always ask, "Is the open house? Is it no furniture? Is it vacant?" Yeah. I should. Emily, growing the what I think every agent should have is I call it being kid tested, parent approved strategies in their business. And we have a
Okay.
bunch of those. One of my favorites I created last year is this activity book. I'll have my assistant bring it in. I'll show it to you. But to have these activity, and right now with AI, it's so easy to do. But it's an activity book all branded to us, and it tells the story what clients get, or then the kids get when they become clients of ours. We have we call it Clean Kids Club listing agreement. So they sign it the same time their parents do, and it says if they keep the house clean, then they get to get a prize at closing. And it's like,
Oh my gosh.
and then we have Santa letters that we send out. It also tells them about our bouncy houses, tells them all these things. And then it's just basically advertising to them about how fun it is to be a client. So then they're telling the parents, because like I used to say, we've always had these strategies, but we just did this last year. I love it. It's my favorite. But,
Oh my gosh. I am in love with that because literally, like, my favorite clientele are people with kids because I have obviously little kids as well.
oh, I mean, my agents bring these to open houses. We put them in our buyer packets, our close packets. Because then again, they're doing really stressful things, and what really stresses a parent out is when their kids are crying and they're trying to make a big financial decision. So in my office, one of my favorite conference rooms is a kids conference room where I just kitted it the whole thing up. That has toys in it. So that's where you go when you have kids, you bring them into that conference room. So they have something to do for all ages. And we just added these in there and bring everything over. But it's McDonald's business model. It's happy meals. It's getting them from a young age and brand awareness.
Do you have copies of that somewhere or examples? Or
Yeah, I can send you, actually, if they want to DM me kids, I'll send you out the whole asset I have on this.
I got a whole bunch of DMs I got to send you right now. I got to send you vendor. I got to send you kids.
Yeah, this
I'm
one,
gonna just do that right now while we're on here.
nobody needs to go as many pages as I did, but we put these in our vendors' lobbies too, because they have kids.
Oh,
So on the back, I advertise my listings. I advertise my business model. I advertise my vendor program. So I'm advertising for them too. And it's just another way that has my brand in a fun way where kids are. Before we go though, I have to tell you about what agents need to be doing though, because of what's happening with the silver tsunami.
yes.
So
Yes.
agents, would you buy an investment property if you could buy a cash flowing one with no money down?
100%.
You'd buy as many as you could. That's the opportunity that exists right now. With the silver tsunami, like 44% of real estate agents are over the age of 60. They dominate like 45 to 50% of the transactions nationwide. Right now, the mini M&A play, the mini mergers and acquisition play, is a play any agent can run, and they can turn it into a unique value proposition that's a forever lead pillar. Agents can acquire other agents' books of business for 0% down. They can acquire profitable market share through relationships that converts 8 times higher by acquiring a book of business from an exiting agent. There's tons of agents right now who want to get out. They just don't know the path to get out. This is a way to go in and through relationships, bring them in. And we created this new category in our industry called relational tech. And it's AI powered technology that goes in and transfers an agent's book of business at a higher monetization. So basically, it simply put, it finds more opportunities in their database, making the exiting agent more legacy, more money for their book of business, for their decades of building relationships, which then
Right.
the acquiring agent more profitable market share through relationships, which again, your repeat and referral business, that's how they're going to value your business model. When you're getting ready
Mm-hmm.
to repeat and referral, it's not going to be from the portal leads. They can't put that out. They're not going to value that because anybody can go get that. It's the relationships that you built are what's going to be your monetization. So we're showing agents how to go in and solve a big problem for these exiting, give them legacy, give them
Yeah.
positive legacy. And by doing that, they're also solving a big problem for those clients who are going to be soon orphaned and soon likely portal leads. So again, it's doing what entrepreneurs should be doing is being problem solvers in a way that's solving problems for everybody. Really similar to my model that you're going out. And again, we're in this wrinkle of time that it's so needed with that big of a database that's exiting, but whoever lead pillar. So like we created a unique value proposition. So it's called legacy agent acquisition. So we're making us the known broker who has a proven system and strategy for an exiting agent to help them monetize. And that
Yeah.
is a forever lead pillar because even after the tsunami is over, agents will always exit. We have a
Right.
10% failure rate. If they have a book, a database, they have a book of relationships that need to be serviced. You'll have agents forever who husbands, wives take jobs in another market. They still have, you'll always have what I call the hybrid agent, the agent who is going to retire in 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 years. And they only want to work with a part of their database because they want to do
Right.
what's fun to them. What made them get
Right.
into they got a giant book of relationships that need to be serviced that shouldn't be going to portal leads. So the
Yeah.
opportunity to go in and then with this AI tech that we built out with relational tech is going in and finding additional opportunities over and over again to continue to add to that profit or that market share. And we're bringing on 4 books here. One of them is in a niche I've never been able to fully capture. And an agent who's running our play right now, too, I was just told this through one of my partners, Don Yoakum. She brought on a book 12 months ago running this play, and she has 15 closings right now because
Yeah.
so again, it's high converting leads in a related
Right.
way, which builds your valuation even bigger when
Mm-hmm.
it comes time for exit for you. I feel like agents just, and we set up like exit strategists who will call around and find books of business for you. We have the whole system laid out and the whole done for you AI tech and with our deep dive done for you model with Pro Insight that is just going in, even if they don't want to acquire business, agents can put their database into there and the AI does the same thing, comes and finds more opportunities to be of service for your database. We call it your assets under management. Taking
Yeah.
away from like wealth advisors to like
Right.
assets under management. That's what we should be doing. And it's a digital copy of everything. It goes in and it shows you this database or this tech is so sexy. It like breaks out your whole database by their age, their how many income properties they have, the valuation of all those, the interest rate they have on all of those things. If they have an FHA or a VA, if they own it free and clear, and then it finds all these opportunities to serve you to put basically appointments on your calendar in a service centric way for your clients. Because a lot of times that's the biggest complaint agents have. I wish my agent was more proactive, not reactive. I didn't have
Right.
hey, I want to sell my house, instead of saying, hey, you're 70 and you're in a 2-story, we need to talk. Here's an opportunity. You know what I mean? Or hey, you're 62 and you have 50 some percent equity. I think we should be looking at doing a reverse mortgage because it's going to save you this and this. You know,
Yeah.
really doing it as assets under management, providing that high level of proactive service.
Mm-hmm.
It's because again, that just breeds more referrals for the agent, right?
Wow. Yeah, you definitely have a system set up to not only attract other agents, but obviously keep your clients. I'm just blown away and I'm so impressed with everything that you do. I've already sent you DM through Instagram for vendors and kids, and I'm probably
Okay.
going to be sending you a whole lot more because I want to be in touch with you more often and really take your model and apply it here, especially the whole kid book. I'm just like thinking about that. I think that is the coolest thing you can do because my model and my clientele right now are families. I'm drawn to them because obviously I have little kids. You can see that little
Yeah.
artistic picture in the back, but I have little kids. So that's my those are the people I love, love, love to serve. So
Right?
all of this has been,
The season you're in, right?
yes,
Yes.
it's the season that I'm in. So it just draws me more to it. And I love everything that you've done and built, and not sure how you have time for it, but you figure it out. Like, I don't, you just keep throwing more and more on. I don't even know how you do it, but which is amazing.
I think that the big driver for me is that I did everything wrong. And I did it at the expense of my health, my marriage at times, my body. Like my kids are separate. I have a 21 and 8 because I had 7 miscarriages in between because I was like just stressed my body out for so much because I was just working and doing all the things wrong. And I didn't have the systems and I didn't have the process set up before we figured out. I'm like, I need to create a path for agents to do this better than what I did because it is a big deal. What we do is a big deal, but they need to be able to do it in a way that isn't just killing them 15 hours a week, not a business.
Right. I know. And that's so important because we do kill ourselves. And unfortunately, it does come at the expense, like you said, of our health, of our relationship, of our marriage. And sometimes you don't realize that until it's either too late or close to that breaking point. And then that's when you're like, all right, something has to change.
Right?
Something needs to be different while I can still continue to grow this legacy, but still providing that personal connection to my own family. We're so focused on our business and having those personal connections with our clients that sometimes we forget that we need to make those personal connections with our own family members. We almost take advantage of them sometimes. And until you get to that point of possible like breaking away, you don't realize how important that is.
Yeah, it's the pain line. You get to the pain line, and once you're there, then it becomes burnout, and then you lose so much traction. Pain line. I knew there was just a better way to do it, and I was just talking to a couple of my agents who are my 2 top producers, and I'm just watching, as they're using systems that we've built in place, and just knowing that they're going to get to the next level of where they want to be. I'm like, now's the time, girls. Like, you have to do something before you get to that pain line. Here's the next level of where you have to, if you want to get here, you have to add this and this is what happens, and then that allow you to do it with a way that you're not going to sacrifice all the stuff I had to.
Yeah. Don't recreate the wheel. You want to find somebody who's doing what you're doing because they've already gone through the suffering. And it sucks. If you didn't go through that suffering, you wouldn't be where you're at today. So you have to appreciate the failing forward, being a PhD and failing forward. I love how you said that before. I think it's hilarious because it's so true. You don't learn from your wins, you learn from your failures. You learn from your wins too, but you learn more from your failures. And so many people are afraid to fail that they don't even take that leap of faith.
Oh,
But failing is really where it's going to get you where you're supposed to go and where you're meant to be.
yeah, one of our core values is that's part of we say we don't lose, we learn, and we go quick. We go quick, and I think that's another thing agents need to maybe really make one of their superpowers is to have that superpower of implementation to go quick because you can always go back and fix it. Whether it's hiring that next person, like agents often think that's a year's salary I'm paying. No, you're paying 90 days. You're in it for 90 days. If it doesn't work, you don't keep them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but you need to be able to implement quick to buy back some massive levels of time and to get it so you don't get in that pain.
Yeah, speed increases focus. I've always heard that, and speed increases focus. Quick to hire or slow to hire, quick to fire. If somebody's not working out, you can just move on, especially the world that we live in with VAs and AI and all of that stuff. There's different ways you can systematize and put the right people in the right places. And it is important to find the right team though. Like you don't want to hang on to somebody too long who's going to be toxic to your business because it could be pretty detrimental long term.
Totally. Oh, we've made that mistake. Yeah, you get rid of the cancers as fast as you can, and you again being I think really strong to your real honoring your vision and the core. And if you hire, fire, and reward and recognize on that, then your culture stays the way you need it to be, and then you attract those. And the thing that with us is we've never wanted to be a giant brokerage. Our profit model is healthy. We don't need to have and because agent attrition is expensive. It just is and more personalities sometimes aren't the best. And it depends on what your business model is, but ours works where we can be small and still be healthy. And then that allows our culture to stay pretty delicious too.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm so impressed with you, Amy. I really am. I'm so impressed with you and what you do and the models that you've created and you implementing AI. And especially like being in the business for 25 years, a lot of people don't continue to look for new ways or want to jump on the bandwagon of the trending things that are going on. But obviously, you've recognized that AI is here. Like it's not going anywhere. So you either got to join it or you're falling behind. And I use AI, but I know I could use it to a whole nother level. I don't even understand it, but so very impressed with everything that you do. So I want to take the time to say, actually, before we go, I always ask, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self, or maybe somebody new into the entrepreneurship world?
My favorite thing that I tell everybody, that if it's not scary, don't do it. That's just it. If it's not scary at all, it's not worth your effort and time. But one thing that I really fully believe in too, and that I feel like I harnessed, and I try to put into my agents, is that confidence has no competition. If you have the confidence, and I can give you the tools that you need with it. One of our core values is continuous improvement, which you have to have that continuous, like, self-development to continue to have that success. But you can walk in, if you know your stuff, confidence has no competition. There's nobody who's going to beat you. If you believe in you, and you know you are the best person for this job to serve and get their goals met, it's golden. You're done. You're good.
Yeah. And it does take practice to gain that confidence. It really does. I know it's a lot of fake it till you make it, or faith it till you make it. Truly believe in that, but confidence does come with time, and confidence does come with failing forward. So don't get afraid to get out there and fail.
Right. I tell her, just walk in the room like you own it and walk out like you sold it every single time. That's how you walk in, and it's how you walk out.
Yep. I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for being here. Yes. And I want to tell the audience, thank you for tuning in to this special episode of Real Moms. And I hope that you love the conversation today with Amy Stockberger. Be sure to check out her work and connect with her at www.lifetimehomesupport.com. Is that right, Amy?
Yep.
Okay. And then where else can they go on social media? How can they find you?
Instagram's going to be the best, just at Amy Stockberger, or you can check out my brokerage, what we're doing there, Amy Stockberger Real Estate. I would love to connect, though, if you're looking for some advice or just have some questions on how to leverage or scale. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm so happy to help our industry build a new reputation, and just really make, like I said, that serve model. Servepreneurs. Let's just all be servepreneurs.
I just love that. And as a reminder, if this episode encouraged you, please hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and share it with another mom who's building her dreams. Your support not only helps this podcast grow, but it also helps incredible women like Amy get their stories heard. And so remember, you are resilient, you are capable, and you are made for an abundant life. Never hesitate to reach out, and I want to help you however I can. Until next time, keep going, and we've got this. And that wraps up another inspiring episode of the Real Moms Podcast. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their story and insights today. If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And hey, sharing is caring, right? Share this podcast with your fellow mompreneurs, friends, and anyone who you feel could use a dose of inspiration. Share it on your social media as well. But most importantly, if you found this episode helpful, please leave me a 5-star review. This helps get our information out to those who have never heard or seen us before. Are you feeling inspired and you're sure that you could add some value to the podcast? Shoot me a message and let's talk. We love hearing from you. So connect with us on social media. Tag me at Shae J Spitz. That's ShaeJSpitz. And share your thoughts and takeaways, or even suggest topics you'd like to have us explore more in the future episodes. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Your resilience is your strength, and your pursuit of abundant living is truly remarkable. As always, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep embracing the beautiful chaos of being a mompreneur. Until next time, take care, stay real, and keep living abundantly.